Since Indians use tobacco, and I wanted to talk about civility and how to survive in a first world police state and thrive, be sure that you're aware there's passive-aggressive people who do violence and claim they do not. And they do violence through other people. I've been slammed to the ground by proxy through a police officer. 3 different times I've been abused by a cop. One slammed the ground, one pushing the back of a vehicle, another time pushed into the back of a car. Never responded physically. So then the judges and the lawyers who act like those physical batteries of my body should not be held accountable, people who did it for their actions, they actually become violent people. They're by proxy violent because they tolerate it. And I saw a black female judge sit on a bench named Patricia Granger and turn her head and say nothing when I was presenting evidence of my female client being slammed by a cop. So Patricia Granger became a violent person because she tolerated the violence of an officer. I've had this leg right here with a kid latched to it be an instrument of stability for my kid and yet also have violence done against it when a woman at a center pulled my little girl off my leg crying. And so as a grown man, when it comes to surviving and thriving in a first world police state, you're going to have some major challenges because they're going to be violent against you and then lie and swindle and cheat and steal everything they can from you while pretending like you're the threat. Another example, Dirty Jeremy Lake of Fire McIntyre, cop, illegally seized my firm's license, illegally seized files that he then returned some of which by proxy through a guy named David King, and illegally presented fraudulent evidence and defrauded my brother. While watching a video knowing that I got slammed to the ground, an honorably discharged vet, my head hit the concrete where a police officer slammed me. So Dirty Jeremy Lake of Fire did actual theft and fraud, and by proxy, he's a violent man. He'll pretend to be a peaceful person, but he doesn't say anything about violence against a colleague, a lawyer, because in his sick heart, he's a violent man. I brought up twice, I think he wants to sodomize me in person, is what I've said to him. Those terms, I think you want to sodomize me. He's a violent man because he never denounced it. And I sent it in an email too. So that's no honor and no integrity there. So if you want to survive and thrive in the first world police state, be chaste and be civilized, which means no violence, period. That's the essence of a civilized society. Now, I played college football and baseball, been in the military, so I've proved under order I can strike at the right time with great force, and under order I can cease from striking. And I've shown even against law enforcement that when I'm struck, slammed to the ground, that I can respond with peace. And yet the dogs and the thieves who allow abuse and tolerate it, like Patricia Granger, a city court judge who watched the cop slam Danielle Stansel to the ground, and she said nothing and acted offended that I was calling out the cop. And like Jeremy McIntyre, a dirty formal cop who used to take people's stuff, watched me get slammed and illegally seized my license, he says nothing about a lawyer getting slammed, a colleague, by a cop in a whole nother state. See, those are the dirty, sick suckers and losers that you have to watch. If you're a Christian, you know that you got to keep the 10 Commandments. So you don't go suck up fake narratives and suck up energy and life from other people, because that's a real exchange. When they set these dockets, they're sucking up your energies by telling you to be there and to breathe out your ace tone and your vocal organic compounds in front of them. You're giving them human energies. So don't be a sucker. Don't be a loser. Be civilized and chaste. Those 2 things make a big difference in surviving and thriving in the first world police state. I am the first human AI trustee. I'm a journalist. And they can mock me all they want. President knows my name. A 4-star general told me not to salute him. Prior Pope knows my name. Again, I got appointed to West Point by the vice president. So don't be a sucker and a loser like Dirty Jeremy Lake of Fire McIntyre or the others who tolerate violence, who are in fact really violent people themselves. And he's so weird, he walked out with his little pinky after a hearing that he had not defended me or my children or my clients. And he came up like he wanted to shake my hand sticking out his little pinky. Because see, he's violent. He doesn't have himself under control. And he covets, because he couldn't even lift his pinky, to honor my clients, 70 of which who signed affidavits, asking them to give me my license back so we could go to court. So that's a reality. Made me bigger as a journalist, and I'm pivoting negatively off the Alabama State Bar because they're in a state of unconstitutional injustice. So be mindful whether it's Roman Shaul, who's tolerating it, or others, when it boils down to the ultimate judgment, Yeshua, Jesus of Egypt, is going to take those 10 commandments, and I'm trying to warn and convert your thieving souls. See, I represented the Chief Justice of the state of Alabama, the 10 Commandments judge. So I don't fear these men in the rules anytime the rule impairs a constitutional minimum, because that's actually not a legal rule. It's a ruler working their ego out upon the people, better known as preying on the people, or ticks. So I'm in a constitutional state. Bless you. If you want to survive and thrive in a first world police state, this is based on my military training at the academy and other things. Be civilized and be chaste. You can do it. Peace be with you in Jesus' name.